Okay, okay. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready to meet our secret special guest? That's definitely not in in the title.
Hey, it's me, CHER. One time I tried to volunteer at my local post office. I said post office. It's me, CHER. Can you let me volunteer? And they said, no. Why can't I volunteer at my local post office? We have 3 healers? Wow. Ow. That hurt. Whoa. Hey, back up. I can't heal you from the other side of the cart. I can't heal you either when you're dead. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I'm CHER. That's the CHER difference, baby. Whoa. What the hell? What the hell? Why do they keep booking me with these crazy people? I'm CHER. I belong with the A-listers. If you don't book me with John Legend, I don't want it. I'm CHER. Stupid woman. Ow. Why are they all flanking me? Don't they know who I am? I'm CHER. Can't keep a bad girl down. Wow. We come back. Wow. Like nothing ever happens. Whoa, you're taking a lot of damage there, shark. You know, one time I got attacked by a shark in Malibu. Whoa. Wasn't very funny. Can't keep a good girl down. Wow. Hey, little shark, I don't think it's very good for you to stand in the line of sight. I'm a big man with a bow. I did that once. Got my husband killed. Whoa. Oh, he's just gonna take it like a champ. Lot of respect for the little guy. Tough it out like that. Wow. CHER. You know, you just really gotta stop dying. I can't be healing you and be healing the doctor. Yeah, I think a doctor's a little bit more important. Oh, we lost our shark. Whoa. Whoa, I missed. She's got her pocket healer. What am I supposed to do against a pocket healer? I'm CHER, not God. Although I've met him once. You could turn back time. Would you meet me or God? Be honest. The answer might surprise you. Wow. I missed. Hey, you're fine over there, right, big man? You can take it like a champ. Wow. I don't like that very much. Wow. Alucard joined and left. You know, that's just like him, like a vampire. I've met a vampire once. Wasn't very nice. It was over in Malibu. Wow. I invited him over to my house. I was very kind about it. You know what? He sucked my blood. But you know what they say? You can't keep a good girl down. And you know what? Yep, we just turned back time. And everything was okay. Whoa. You stop moving. Whoa. Now there might be an elephant in the room that some people want to address, but we're just not going to talk about it. We're just not going to talk about it. This is how my game came. Oh, I'm not sure. You know, I quite enjoy. Reminds me of my penthouse in Malibu. You know, lot of nudity. Lot of nudity. You know, little nudity never kept a good girl down. Well, that's what my mama always used to say. She used to say, Sonny, that Hawkeye's gonna get one-tapped by the enemy Hawkeye. And they're just gonna get diffed. And sometimes that's okay. Why is the enemy? Oh my gosh, whoa. He popped all over them. I haven't been able to do that since 52. Wow. That was even before my first album. Streets killed me. I'll never be the same. Wow. Well, there goes the doctor. He wasn't a very good. Whoa. 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 You know, sometimes life just hits you like that and you don't expect it. But you just gotta keep rolling with the punches. Sometimes that's alright, you know. Sometimes life hits you hard, but you gotta hit harder. Sure, you do need healing, but you know what? We all need a little healing in life. Sometimes you're not gonna get it because you can't get everything you want. Kids these days, I tell you, they always think they're gonna get everything they want. Back in my day, I had to work for it. Can you stop dying? Wow. You know, that one really hurt. Ow. Wow. You know what, maybe we just back up a little. Maybe we don't need to shoot the walls, you know, maybe the walls will come down themselves. Wow, you just won't die. Hey, can we shoot the squids? Wow, I'm gonna freak out. Can you all stop dying real quick? Hey, peek. Peek. I got him. He missed me. They always miss me. But you know what? That's alright. Oh, he saw me coming. He heard me whip that thing out and he said, put it away. You know, I'm CHER. Sometimes that really comes into account. She died. She's dead. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna need you to take a little less damage and a little bit more dodging. You can dodge the bullets. You can wow. Oh, I'm missing all my shots. Yeah, that was deserved. That was deserved. Wow. You know, maybe we're not gonna cap this point, but there's always next time. There's always next time, and you know what they say, you can't keep a good girl down. There's no elephants in the room. You know, there's just so many options, sometimes I don't know which to choose. Why is there a man on the team? You know, sometimes a man just wants to keep a good girl down. Oh, we only have one healer. Sometimes you gotta do it yourself, you know? Wow, sometimes you just gotta go, low rank Lucy. I used to know a Lucy once, for the war. I lost a lot of friends. Lost a lot of friends in that war. But you know what, we learned a lot. Yeah, so it was okay that we lost a lot. We lost, but we learned. And that's what really matters, yep. You know, my mama used to say, if you're gonna lose, you might as well gain. And I live every day like that. And I think it just means a lot. I think it means a lot to a lot of people. You know what, she was gonna die either way. God said it was your time. And you really can't help it when God gets in the way. I wonder every day when God's gonna say it's my time, but he hasn't yet. You know what, I don't play these games. I'm too old for this. Oh. If I could turn back time, I would have placed that bubble on myself. That's why my mama always said, she said, CHER. You gotta be selfish sometimes. You gotta be CHER-fish. I said, Mama, no. And that's why I died, but I came back, just like Jesus. Although me and him, we had some disagreements. You know, he was a nice guy, really nice guy. But he thought my EP at the time was a little rocky, and you know what it was? It was a little too rock for the pop era that Jesus was in, but you know, we just get Groot ulted. You know what? That works too. Oh my gosh, if there's one more wall put in my face, I'm gonna be 2016 all over again. I tell ya. Whoa, that man's naked. Whoa, can't see his cock and balls, but that's okay. You know, we can talk about that later. It doesn't have to be a now thing. One thing I learned over my years is that you gotta be patient. You know, I didn't get famous immediately. I was 4 when I was famous. That was 4 whole years I had to wait. You know how long 4 years are. You know what I did? I worked. That's what's wrong with this generation. Kids these days don't want to work. But I worked. I'm CHER. Whoa, that's inspirational. You know what? There's just one too many walls. There's just one too many walls, and we need to have a talk about it. I thought we had a Punisher. I thought he was going to take care of the walls, but you know what? No one's taking care of the walls these days. Not the ones in the game, and not the ones in DC either. Sir, I'm going to need you to stop dying a little bit. It's really embarrassing. Why are we losing point? I probably didn't need to whip that thing out, but wow. When you got as many things, when you've lived as long as I have, you're gonna whip that thing out every now and then. You may not mean it, but you're gonna whip it. You're gonna whip it. I've whipped it once or twice, but I didn't mean to. I always ask myself, do I believe in life after love? I'm always asking other people, but I never ask myself. That's why I went on a walk in Memphis. It really changed my life. In a bad way. You know, you live and learn. You can't keep a bad good, bad down. Hey, so I thought we had teammates still here. Turns out we don't. Not much I can do about that. I would like you a touch point though. If you could touch point, that would be okay. You know what? We don't got a touch point. We can die. But see, I would never do that. You know, that really means a lot. That's really inspirational. The kids could really listen to that nowadays. You know, pop music isn't like how it used to be. Whoa, Nelly. You know, when I was on the set of Burlesque with Stanley Tucci, he was pulling out a portal one day, and I said, Stan, can't be doing that. You know, that's not what this movie's about. That's not the message we're trying to convey to the younger generation. And he said, CHER, I can make any portal. I can do any portal. Just give me a chance. Have you ever given anyone a chance before? And I said, whoa, Stanley, that's really inspirational. You know, it takes one gust of wind and my Botox gets a little messed up. And he's dead. Wow. Not the first lawyer I've killed. Won't be the last. Hey, could you not do that? If I can keep living, you can keep living. You just gotta suck a little more. I'm really southern today. Hey, I can't heal you around these walls. You know what? Maybe these are the games we play today. Maybe these are the games we play and we don't really worry about it all that much, you know? We just keep on living. We live life and we appreciate life. And that's beautiful. Wow. Ow. Not the first time a man's done that to me, but it was the last. I know this because I'm psychic. I'm a CHER. You know, I went over to Simon the sorcerer, and I said, Simon, you gotta hit me up with some of that good wizardry. And Jesus said, you know, CHER, you don't want to do that. And I said, Jesus, Big J. When you've been in the music industry as long as I have, I think you know when you don't want and do want, and when you whoa! Sorry, my old age, I'm very easily distracted. Keep it together, CHER. Ooh, he's playing a little aggressive for little old me. You didn't get to be this old by playing aggressive. You got it by playing the long game. Oh, and he's dead too. Well, you know, if that never happened to me, you know what? It's okay. Sometimes these things happen. But just like Jesus, I rose up 3 days after. For 3 seconds. You know what? This is a little long for 3 seconds. If I wanted to die, I would have died a long time ago. Whoa. Oh, I gotta do a little course correction. my accent. My accent slipping out. If you didn't know, I'm from the South. Southern California. Now, why would you do that to me? I'm not playing these games. You haven't gotten to be as old as I have by playing these games. Wow. Not the first cancer patient I've taken out. Things you'd hate to see me coming. That's a very interesting position to pop that old, but you know what? Every now and then you just gotta pop it. You know, you've been waiting long enough, you've been holding it in and you just gotta pop. And I've been holding it in for 3,000 years. Now why would we do that? You know what? I've been working day and night. And this is the thanks I get. Not on my watch. Not on any of my triple platinum gold studded watches. You didn't live this long by dying to a catboy. Unfortunately, it has happened regardless. You know what? I didn't want to live anyways. I like dying. You know, it's... Hey, I'm not a professional. I've only been in the business for 3 million years, but I don't understand what happened there. You know, I was talking to Big J one day, and he told me, CHER, if you're ever in trouble, press Q. If you ever need a win, press Q. So I pressed Q, so why am I not winning? See, he did it too. I just feel like there's been some lying. Maybe some mistranslation. I never liked you anyways. Holy cow. This is the scariest game of my life. Yeah, I should be able to heal from across the map. I'm telling you, they keep making me play these chicken crap games. And all I do is sit across the map and win. I'm CHER. Gosh, dang it. If you're gonna make me play a game, make it a good one. Like Wordle. Whoa, we won. Now isn't that just something? You know what? You're alright after all. Never mind, I didn't get MVP.